Pegasusangel here, and welcome to December 1st, which is also the first day of Vlogmas! Now, for those of you who don't know, Christmas is my favorite holiday, and so I want to make it special for everyone. I know everybody's Christmas is going to look a lot different this year, and that is why I'm doing Vlogmas this year, but if you guys like this, I will keep doing it. Basically, what Vlogmas is a thing where I will vlog every day until the 25th that's something holiday themed. Doesn't have to be Christmas. It can be another holiday. Like I could look up like how another country celebrates Christmas or how another country celebrates their holidays and stuff. But today, I decided for Vlogmas, for today, I'm going to tell you the story about the best Christmas present I ever got. So, buckle up because here it comes. When I was a little kid, I loved cats, but we lived in a city. So my parents wouldn't let me get a cat because they didn't want it to get ran over by cars or whatnot. They wanted it to be kind of a free roaming because they couldn't have it in the house. My mom's allergic to cats. And I wished for a cat on Shooting Stars, on the first star of the, I was like 8, guys, come on. I was wishing for it and wishing for it. And every single year on my birthday and on Christmas, my grandma would ask my mom if she could get me a cat. Well, finally, when I turned 10, we moved to a new city that was more country-like. It had more country. It was kind of more of a not so crowded place. And we had a lot of acreage that the cats could run on. And so for Christmas, my grandma, Caroline, got me a cat. Now, what's really cool about this is probably one of the best Christmas presents I ever received, but also the way she went about this. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the way she went about this and how I reacted as a 10-year-old. Okay, I'm a 10-year-old kid. Parents have always told me be grateful for whatever you get, blah, blah. Even if it's something you hate, you act like you love it kind of thing. And so I have been doing that my whole entire life, just that's how Christmas worked. If I didn't like a present, I would act super happy I liked it. If I already had something, I would just act like I never did get it and things like that. Well, when I was 10, my grandma got me a cat for Christmas. Now, the kicker here is I didn't know what she was getting me. Like, I didn't know. Usually my grandma gave us the best presents until she stopped being around, and then my grandpa gave us, like, the really good presents on that side of the family. But she gave me a big thing. It was just wrapped. I didn't know what it was, but it was wrapped, and it had several little presents just wrapped up inside of it. And I didn't know what it was, I didn't know what it was. I was like, oh, wow. And she's like, yeah, you and your sister need to open this together. I was like, oh, okay. So, like, I opened up the first thing, and it was a litter box. And then my sister opened up, like, cat treats, I think. And then I opened up, like, cat food, and my sister opened up a cat toy. I can't remember exactly how it went, but she gave us this litter box full of cat stuff first, but they were all wrapped individually. So we had to open each one individually. And I looked at my grandma, and I'm 10 years old, I don't have a cat. I haven't ever had a cat. I want one. I wanted one, but I had never had one. I looked at my grandma, and I was like, Grandma, this stuff is really, really neat. But we don't have a cat. But that's okay. I can play with my stuffed animal cat that I got for Easter. My stuffed animal cat will love this stuff. This is me 10 years old. And so I was like, thank you, Grandma, for the cat stuff. And then she's like, the present's not over yet. I'm like, oh, okay. And then she brought out a big box. And she handed me a paper, and she handed my sister a paper and told my mom to help my sister read it. Because my sister was 5 when this happened, and I was 10. And I read the first 3 lines, and I knew what was in the box. And I didn't read the rest. Like, I didn't know which cat was mine or anything like that. I just knew I had a cat, and I flipped out. I threw the paper aside, and I opened the box up, and there were 2 cats in there. There was a gray one and a black one. They ended up being named Smokey and Muffin. Muffin was mine, and Smokey was my sister's. But whenever I first saw them, I saw the gray one. I'm like, oh, is that cute little gray one mine? And then my grandma's like, wait, no. Did you not read your paper? And I'm like, I did. She's like, you got the cool one with the bobtail. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got a bobtail cat. Because that was the kind of cat I'd always wanted. And she was bobtailed. And it was so cool. And I don't know how my grandma got one, but she did. But it was definitely one of my best Christmas memories, one of my best Christmas presents I've ever gotten. And I still appreciate it, even though my grandma's not here anymore. And, you know, even though she did walk out of my life a little bit after that, I very much appreciate the fact that she got me a cat and that she stayed with me until I was 10 before she decided that she needed to get away because she didn't feel like life was going the way it needed to. But yeah, so that was one of my best Christmas presents. Sorry to get kind of for real for you on you guys like that, but I mean, Christmas is all about memories and holidays and family and cherishing the memories you have. And so that was one of the memories I always cherished the most from her. There were lots of others too, but the cat memory is probably the one that I've cherished the most and will continue carrying with me the rest of my life, even though she's gone now. But yeah, so that was my best Christmas present ever. Also, for Vlogmas, I have this thingy. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. This thingy that I got on discount last year. It's a Disney Storybook Collection Advent Calendar. And so I'm going to open up book 1 today for December 1st. So I don't know which book it's going to be. But it's actually, they're all like in little containers like this. And so you have to actually open it to see what the book is about. So this is the first book. I don't know how long these books are. But kids, gather around because we're going to read a story. We're going to read 101 Dalmatians. This is the golden book. Roger lived with Pongo, his pet Dalmatian. He married a lovely lady named Anita who owned a female Dalmatian, Perdita. Soon, Perdita was expecting her first litter of puppies. One day, an old friend of Anita's, Cruella de Vil, came to visit. "Where are the puppies?" Cruella demanded. "They're not expected for another 3 weeks," Anita replied. "You must let me know when they arrive. I just adore Dalmatian puppies. Their coats are so beautiful." And Cruella swept out of the house. Pictures! They're kind of hard to see because the book has got a little bit of a glare on it. 3 weeks later, Perdita and Pongo became the proud parents of 15 puppies. Roger, Anita, and Nanny, the housekeeper, were delighted. Yeah, because Nanny's a great name for a housekeeper. The next day, Cruella returned. 15 puppies, she cried. "I'll buy all of them." But Roger told her they were not for sale. Soon afterward, Cruella's henchmen, Horace and Jasper Baden, planned to dognap the puppies. I didn't know their last name was Baden. I did not know their last name was Baden. Once the coast was clear, the Badens broke into the house. When Nanny tried to stop them, the Badens locked her in a cupboard. By the time Nanny had escaped, the Badens were gone, and so were the puppies. The days went by, but the puppies were still not found. Pongo and Perdita had to do something. That evening, Pongo used the twilight bark to spread the news. He barked the alert. 3 loud barks and a howl. After a moment, an answering bark was heard. "It's the Great Dane at Hampstead," Pongo said to Perdita, and he barked out his message. Danny, the Great Dane, told a friend the news. "It's up to us to send out an all-dog alert with a twilight bark," he said. Danny's big, deep voice began to send the news across London. Within an hour, word had spread all over England. Before long, the twilight bark reached an old sheepdog named Colonel, who lived on a farm. Colonel's friends, a horse named Captain and a cat named Tibbs, listened too. They were shocked to hear that 15 puppies had been stolen. That's a good picture. They should have done this with more of the book. Had the words on one side and the pictures on the other. "That's funny," Tibbs said. "I heard puppies barking over at the old DeVille house last night." "But no one lives there now," said Colonel. "We must go and see what's going on." Colonel and Tibbs went quietly up to the house and peered through a broken window. Inside, Horace and Jasper Baden were eating dinner and relaxing in front of the television. All around the room there were puppies, not 15, nor even 50, but 99 of them. Colonel barked the good news. Before long, the twilight bark had sent the message back to London, where it reached Perdita and Pongo. They set off as fast as they could to rescue their puppies. Meanwhile, Tibbs was keeping watch on the house. When he saw Cruella driving up to the front door, he went to the broken window to hear what was happening. Cruella was ordering the Baddens to kill the puppies. I want their skins for fur coats, she cried. I'll be back first thing in the morning. When I was a kid, I used to think Cruella was fat. I didn't realize she was just wearing a heavy coat. Tibbs was horrified. What a terrible thought. As soon as the Baddens were distracted, he crept through the broken window and whispered to a puppy, Tell everyone they must escape. Cruella is after your coats. When all the puppies had been alerted, Tibbs led them to a hiding place. When the Baddens discovered that the puppies had gone, they searched all over the house. Eventually, they found them cowering under the stairs. Tibbs was ready to protect the puppies. Meanwhile, Colonel led Perdita and Pongo to the DeVille house. They bounded into action. Perdita attacked Horace while Pongo tore at Jasper's pants. In the chaos, Tibbs led the puppies to the safety of Captain's stable. Leaving the Baddens in a heap on the floor, Perdita and Pongo dashed after the puppies. Are our 15 all here? Asked Perdita anxiously. You're 15 and a few more, replied Captain. There are 99. Whatever did Cruella want with 99 puppies? Pongo asked. One little puppy said, She was going to make fur coats out of us. Perdita and Pongo had never heard of anything so evil. We'll just have to take them all back to London with us, said Perdita. I'm sure Roger and Anita will look after them. Perdita, Pongo, and the puppies set off back to London, leaving a trail of paw prints in the snow. Cruella, who had returned for the puppies' coats, quickly spotted the paw prints, and the chase began. Eventually, after trudging across the cold countryside, Perdita and Pongo led the tired puppies to the shelter of a blacksmith shop. Cruella and the Baddens were still on their trail. Pongo had an idea. He made the puppies roll in soot until they all looked like black Labradors. The sooty puppies climbed into a van that was going to London, but it was snowing, and Cruella saw white patches appearing on the puppies' coats. She realized the trick. After them! She shouted. Pongo leaped onto the bumper as the van sped off, with Cruella and the Baddens right behind. Cruella's car skidded out of control and hurtled down a steep hill. The Baddens' van crashed into the back of the car, and they all ended up in a pile of wreckage. Home at last in London, Roger counted the dog. That's 101 Dalmatians, including Perdita and Pongo. He and Anita decided to buy a big house and keep them all. They'd have a Dalmatian plantation. We'll have a Dalmatian plantation. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this day of Vlogmas, please leave a like. Let me know what I can improve on if you didn't like the book or whatever. I just thought it'd be cool to have a little advent calendar. But anyway, much love, everybody. Mwah. Go out there, go spread some love and positivity today because you never know who needs it. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time with more Castle Crashers and more Vlogmas. But that won't be till 4 or 5. So, spreading them out. But I hope you all have a good rest of the day. Much love, everyone.